What's up, boys? This is Void of Dust Gaming again. Welcome, YouTubers and YouTube watchers. I am bringing you a ranked game with Arthur. This is not a guide. This is somehow gameplay. I just wanted to show you that the poster boy of Arena of Valor is still pretty capable in the current meta. This is one of the gold ranked matches. I am playing with 3 silver players, as you can see in this overview, and we've got a pretty decent matchup. This is going to be a win, and there will be a couple of situations where you will find Arthur is really helpful, and the new buff with more armor is really good. Like Arthur has a problem that he can basically do anything, but this is some kind of like the main problem that characters have sometimes. They are able to do everything quite well, but they do not excel at a special thing. But Arthur is like, he's superb at dealing damage as well as being one of the best tanks in the game, in my opinion. And you will see in this game how I prove that. Like, this is going to be proof that Arthur is in gold. He is legit. Like, he's really good. And that comes from two different things. He's super mobile, and while he's a tank, he is still able to dish out shitloads of damage, and that makes Arthur so well. I know that people are sometimes kind of like overlooking Arthur because he's one of the first characters that you do get in the game. But besides that, I have played around 100 games in ranked matches with Arthur, and I think he is just one of the best picks if you have a team composition and you don't know how your team will fight. And that is one of the main problems that I face in ranked all the time, because I've got loads of players. They might be gold, they might be platinum, but the main issue with that is you are fighting for yourself. Like, even if you are kind of like, you are a team, but that doesn't really matter. You can call 100 times, people are still not paying attention to that, and so you've got a pretty harsh time being successful in ranked games. And if you don't have any friends who are playing with you, and especially if you are not sitting in the same room, it's always complicated because people will do things that you do not expect from them. Like, I had games where I was playing support like Rock, or I was playing Gildur, or lately I was playing with a Chogna, and people do not realize what you are capable of. And therefore you will always have situations where you just think like, dude, what are you doing? This is not going to work if we do not play together. And that is what makes games really difficult, and difficult to win especially. So Arthur is, I think, a pretty solid pick. And if you can, like, as you can see here, I was down to almost less than half of the health points that I had. And because I know how to play Arthur, and I know that Arthur is pretty tanky, I was able to get Yorn here because he was feeling super powerful. He thought that he is going to win against me in this lane, and I just killed him. Like, this is how strong Arthur is. Like, even if you are down at least at like half health or even less than that, because of the mobility. And with the mobility of your one comes a gap closer. Like, your one is you are charging up your sword, you are gaining like running speed, and at the same time you are dishing more damage out with the first hit that you do. So this is like perfect for initiating fights, and that makes Arthur such a good character because he's got the kit. Like, he's got beefy health results, he's got pretty good armor because with the new patch, his passive got him like almost, I think, more than 80 armor. And at the same time, you are not dealing with Thane. Like, this is no Thane, this is not Chogna, this is not Gildur. You are not depending on one single hit that might cause the damage, but you have the full kit. Like, your ult deals tremendous amounts of damage. Your 1 deals damage. Your 2 is some sort of sustained damage because you've got those things flying around you and they're dealing damage all the time. So Arthur is pretty good and at being a tank at the same time as being this kind of warrior position that you think that Arthur is really good at. And look at that, like I have managed with just 2 skills to get the Maganga to almost half health. Like this is how strong Arthur is. And I just finished 1 item. Like this is how good you are like early game, but you are even better late game because this is when you are starting to build items. Like this is something I don't have items yet. Like I've got the Mantle of Ra. I'm going to build the medallion now. I think I've got boots at this point of the game. But Arthur is really good because he is a jack of all trades. And usually this is going to be like a drawback because you are not really good at something because you are pretty much decent at everything. But this is not true for Arthur because Arthur is basically good at anything. He's able to be the tank. He's able to dish out damage. He's good at initiating. And as you can see, like we've got the butterfly here. That is, and our butterfly was low. And this is just how Arthur works. And I'm able to finish off Yorn here as well. Like, and I was basically just doing my job. Like I was pushing top lane. And I've got the double kill here. So Arthur just really packs everything into his kit. And I think he's one of the most solid picks out there in Arena of Valor. At this point, I think he is one of those heroes that you can choose for doing everything. Like he can even jungle. Like some people don't believe that Arthur can do that, but look at that. Like I was really low, and okay, now the butterfly got me. Like I should have been out there before she got me, and I was staying too long at top lane. But we got the tower, and that is worth something because this game is just about being able to get resources. It's basically like a big game of who gets most money and who's able to buy things. And the towers are nonetheless resources that you are playing with. And therefore, Arthur is really, really good because he's got the speed and he's got the punch that you need to pack up if you want to excel in this game. So every time I am stuck in a ranked match and I don't know what to do, like usually my strategy is that I'm waiting for the other players to choose what they want to do, because what I usually tend to do is that I'm just kind of like paying attention to the team composition, and I will always take that missing piece. If you need a support, I will take the support. If we need the ADC, I will take the ADC. And lots of times I realize that we have been missing a true tank at the same time as we have to deal with the top lane position is not picked by someone. And there's nothing worse than having like some of the premier junglers, say Zill, you've got also Florentino, you've got Quillen, you've got, let's name it, the good old Murad. Those are not picks for top lane. Like, these guys do excel at being in the jungle, doing as much stuff as they can, leveling up, trying to pick the fights that they have to pick, and just ramping up, getting loads of kills, and then they are just best at what they can do, and they are winning you the team fights. And it's the worst thing that you will ever experience in a match if characters like that have to pick top lane. And you will face those matches where no one wants to pick top lane, because it's just not something fancy. Like, most of the time you've got the feeling that you play on your own, and this is not how it works. Like, this is really frustrating, and I get how this is frustrating, because you have the feeling that you don't have any impact. But I've got the feeling as soon as you take Arthur, you have so much in your kit that you are able to roam. You are able to pick team fights. And look at that. Like, I've got the stun, and now we've got the kill. So this is how Arthur works. you can basically do every single thing in the game where you sometimes need like a special character. Of course I died here, and that was kind of calculated because I wanted my team to get out of the fight, so that's what you have to take as the tank, because you have to sacrifice yourself for your team, and this is just how it works. But you have to pay attention to everything, and I think there are worse tanks, or like worse true tanks in doing that. So for example, I love to play Thane, because Thane is one of the characters who is able to be so helpful for a good team composition. But if you are in solo queue, and I'm always in solo queue, like I don't have many friends that play Arena Valor, and I don't have like a consistent kind of like team that I'm going to fight with. So I always have to pick a hero who is able to play a game on his own. So I don't have help, I don't have like the support from someone. And that's where Arthur comes to shine. Like Arthur is really, really good if you are not depending on a team, because he has just this awesome combination of being able to fight the team fights on his own. Like look at that, like I was fighting against like 4 enemies and I dealt damage and I was able to get out, because at the moment I'm not even like fully equipped. This is not the situation in this game. Like I think I have 3 to 4 items, and because of the butterfly doing such a good job, like we are able to get not only double kill, but we are able to get the Maganga kill as well. And this is just because of Arthur's kit. Like I would have not been able to do that if I would have been like, let's say like Gildur, or if it would have been like the Chogna, because those guys have the problem that they are just not doing enough damage to be helpful for the team. Or let's say Thane. Like Thane is like the best example. You are super good if your team knows how to play with Thane. Like if you are able to just fit that support role, because you always need some kind of like ADC support. You need someone who is able to dish out damage. And if you don't have that, Thane will always be a bad pick. So every time you are able to just like use Arthur will always be more solid and more consistent than Thane. Like if you've got a pretty bad team composition, Thane will not be helpful for your team, because you will always have the feeling that you are fighting an uphill battle, and that just leads to the point because you are not able to dish out damage. And that is a drawback that Thane has, that doesn't feel that bad if you have some kind of like team play, like if you have the ability to communicate, like if you've got a friend or something who's playing the AD carry and you are the support as Thane, that's great, because you can always say like, I'm going in, I'm going to shove people around with my one, I'm going to do my ultimate now, but not so with Arthur. Like you are more dependent on your team with playing Thane. And if you're not playing Thane, I would always recommend to pick Arthur, because as you can see, we have already double the kills than the enemy has. And this is going to be the end of the game, because we were playing quite aggressive, and me playing Arthur with an 8-3, I was able to just be sustainable good in the game, and this is it. Like, that's how good Arthur is. Like, and I think many people are just like rejecting that because they feel he's like one of the early game plays, like he's for beginners. And as I can say that I've been playing a lot with Arthur, I think if you're playing Arthur more and more, you just know how his skills work, you know how his kit works, you know what skills you need to check, and it just makes you a better player. So I would always recommend going with Arthur if there is this one missing spot and you don't know how to fit that. Like if you don't know what character or what hero you should take. So thanks guys, I'm Void of Dust Gaming. This was an Arthur game. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like, leave a comment, leave a like, that would be highly appreciated. And I wish you some really nice evening. Bye bye, see you soon.